Love it.
I can't wait. Okay. All right.
Mhm,
So
mhm.
here's the intro. Cousin,
Okay.
thank you so much. I'm so excited. I was just sitting here like freaking out because I'm so stoked. So let's just dive right in. So tell me who you are and how the hell do we know each other?
Oh my gosh. Well, we know each other because our parents are amazingly tight cousins. And I think that was one of the things that you and I learned on early in our years was this is family. This
Absolutely.
is blood. This is who we take care of. And this is who always has your back,
Yep.
and from just early times of driving to Idaho to seeing you guys and learning how to ride motorcycles and being on the farm there and also like our other family members that are around. Aunt Bertha was still around, Uncle Ed was still around. So we and Ruth and Casey Donoho. Like, how can you not like talk about the wonderful education that we got from our elders, right? And so I don't know. It
Yeah.
was always you and I were always super tight as cousins.
Yeah.
From going on that crazy trip in the Suburban to you cutting my hair and teaching me how to dress because
Was it had to have been
you're
how
older.
oh, like what, 11 days? No.
I'm just saying,
Wait. No, you're older. You're
August
older.
12th.
23rd. You're older,
But
dude.
women mature faster than men,
You're
and so
absolutely right.
you always had me dressing nice and hair all good. So
You were preppy, dude. You were so preppy
yeah,
back in the day.
yeah,
It
yeah.
was so funny.
Oh my
Well,
gosh,
so
yeah.
so the whole connection there, of course, is your dad and my dad. So they're first cousins.
Mhm.
And I absolutely adore your father. And those two together over the years of seeing them whenever we did have those visits, or we went on vacation, or we went to see, went over to the farm and saw
Mhm.
you guys or congregated there, even maybe even before you guys moved there. I can't really remember, but I know between Petaluma, where you used to live, and then the farm,
Yeah.
and then coming here, and then that vacation we went to Jackson Hole in
Mhm.
Montana. Yeah, it was, and then we
Yes.
did that road trip to California with
Yep.
Farshad.
Fashad. Yeah.
Farshad.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, and
Yeah.
Tracy, and yeah, so everybody's
Uh
like,
huh.
"Who the hell are you talking about?" But anyway, it's just fun to think about. But anyway, our dads, our first
Yeah.
cousins, and so your grandpa Goal was my grandma's brother. So
Mhm.
and then your grandma and my grandma were super close. They were like, you remember how when we go to the farm and just sit there and watch those little ladies talk?
Oh
It
yeah.
was like watching a movie. I could sit there and I just sat there and watched the cutest mannerisms and the little stories they tell, and just to look at them
Yeah.
at that moment. I don't know how old they were at the time, but they were so damn cute, and think they look so innocent and sweet right
Yeah.
now. And then in reality, it was probably like Katie bar the door. Shit went down when they got together, but nobody's going to talk about it now, as the old grandmas.
Right. Right. They were definitely ladies. They were
Oh yeah,
absolutely ladies. But then you'd hear stories of things going
shenanigans.
down, and yeah, yeah. My grandma being arrested for fishing in the wrong state. You
Oh
know,
wow, that's
going around
nuts.
the yeah, just walking around the lake and happened to cross through state lines and got arrested.
Wow, is that
But
the
we don't
worst
talk
thing
about
she
that.
ever did? Yeah.
But we don't,
Jeez.
I don't
It's
know. We
yeah,
don't talk about
bail her out,
it.
right? She got arrested for fishing in the wrong state.
Yeah,
That's some bad
yeah.
stuff right there. Oh my god.
Yeah.
Well, it's just you were talking about riding motorcycles, and that picture that you sent me, basically a picture of last year sometime, of out
Mhm.
here at the house at mom and dad's in Payette, and you and I are like tiny little farts and on the little 50 motorcycle. Oh my
Yeah,
god. I
that's
should
what I
post that
remember.
picture.
Just yeah, going up and down the road.
Oh, it's so
Yeah,
great. Oh my gosh.
yeah.
Well, I'm stoked too because we planned, you and I got together because our parents obviously are getting older, and your dad had
Hmm.
some pretty significant medical issues happen this last year, and it was like,
Yeah,
man, we started thinking we better get them together, because the last thing that I wanted was for the last thing for our dads to see each other in a pine box, instead of
right.
together and enjoying each other. So we planned
Yeah,
ourselves a nice little getaway to the coast, the Oregon
yeah,
coast, in June, and I cannot wait. It's going to be
yeah.
so epic.
I
And
I
yeah,
was just on Google Maps looking at it,
Oh,
Yeah,
great.
checking it all out. The places to get your mom down on the beach.
Oh,
So yeah,
awesome.
really looking forward to that. Yeah,
Well, you can just leave
yeah,
dad with your dad and we'll scoop up the ladies and go down to the beach because those two don't probably
not a
don't give a
problem.
shit. He's like,
Not a
my
problem.
dad's like,
Well,
I don't give a damn about the beach.
yeah. Besides a coffee mug, I had to pay homage to your dad. White tea,
Oh, the white t-shirt. Look at
white
you.
tea,
I
white tea.
know.
Whatever. This is my Superman cape. Whenever I want to feel like a badass, I put on my jeans, my boots, and this shirt,
Oh,
and you just like let's go because I know in the Donoho spirit, be like it's on,
it is
you
on.
know.
I know.
So
And that
yeah,
is his signature.
yeah,
It really is. And I'm
100%.
just going to tell you,
Yeah.
you got to buy the most expensive damn t-shirts too because he only wears one style. And so I go to, every now and then mom will say, "Hey, could you get me some of those?" It's the Stafford JC brand and they are not cheap. You
Okay.
get two for like $30. So they're not cheap.
Okay.
So yeah, he wears the best. That's the only thing that guy will ever say, "Well, I need the best of the best." The rest he could care about, like care
Right.
less. But I'm telling you, the Stafford fancy JC t-shirts and that's my dad. So
All right.
okay, so let's dive
Love
into it,
it.
mister. So
All right.
now I want to know a timeline. And then, okay, let's explain too, because I call you Shannon and everybody else that's
Yeah.
over that direction calls you Gary.
Hmm.
So please, let's clarify
Yeah.
that because I will call you Shannon from
Let's.
time to time.
Yeah. I'm signed on to Shannon because So we'll go back to the timeline, right? So I was born in 1970, obviously August 12th, a couple days before you, and March 30th, right, which just happened, was yesterday.
Yeah.
That was the day my dad bought the farm 55 years ago. Okay, so I'll be 55 this year.
Oh my gosh.
They bought it in May, and I was born in August. So I've been going to the farm since I was 2 days old.
Wow.
Yeah, it's been a minute. So that's kind of cool that the farm's been in our family for 55 years,
Yeah.
you know. So growing up in Petaluma, um, so I'll get into the whole family story too.
Yeah.
So mom and dad married, had me in 1970. My kindergarten year, they got divorced, and my mom went back to her family in Kansas, and the courts declared my dad full custody of me at age 5. So 1975, a court said I could be with my dad, which that changed my life for the better, right?
Yeah.
Just crazy, crazy stuff. So that was good. So my name was Gary Shannon Hale. I have the same initials as my grandfather, which is Gola Sylvestus Hale. I got a story about those initials too. But everybody called me Shannon as a kid. Shannon, Shanny Goat, Shanny, whatever it was, some form of Shannon. Until I got to about high school, and I thought I need a more, masculine name, and I think it'll be Gary. I'll go by my first name now, so I started going by Gary. And so now since high school, everybody calls me Gary. However, we'll be doing stuff with Kennedy, my daughter, and somebody will come by and be like, "Hey, Shannon," and she'll go, "Wait a second, you knew him from like way back. Okay, Dad, who's this?" I'm like, "Oh, they're cousin, whatever, whatever." Like, okay, cool. Right. But whenever she hears Shannon, it's like an immediate like, "Oh, these people have been around for a minute." So
Oh
that's kind of
yeah.
cool.
It
I've got
is.
that two sides to it.
You
Yeah.
got the dichotomy.
Um, I do. So Dad got remarried when I was 14, and still with Jerry to this day. Wonderful, wonderful, wonderful lady, and that's kind of how that whole rolled out.
Okay.
My mom has since my real mom has since passed away.
Okay.
She had a son from a previous marriage before my dad. He has since passed away, and she had a daughter after my dad's and her got divorced. Katrina. Katrina's still alive and has a phenomenal family. She's
Good.
a hospice care administrator right now. Was a hospice care nurse for a really, really long time.
Wow.
5 kids, just really, really great family. Her oldest son is in Air Force right now. I think he's on Guam,
Oh
working
wow.
towards his like nurse residency. Yeah.
That's awesome.
But
But
that's
you
the
guys
family.
though, but you guys got connected later in life, right? You and your
Later in life,
sister.
yes. Yeah,
Okay.
actually, but I met a couple times, but then when my mom was in hospice, Katrina and I really, really bonded really tight.
That's
Yeah, after
awesome.
that. So, and she's been out a couple times to see us, and I've been there to see them. So,
So where does she
yeah.
live? I forgot what you
Hutchinson, Kansas.
Okay. Okay. I knew you told
Yeah,
me previously, but I couldn't
yeah,
remember. But that's a beautiful
yeah.
blessing though that
And
you guys have connected and you're close and you're able to
yeah, and
be
that's where
involved.
grandma and grandpa used to live there. Like all of our cousins, we have a ton of family from there. So there's a
Yeah.
huge life history on even on my dad's side. Um, when he went away to the Navy and came back, that's where grandma and grandpa lived. So that's where he lived when he first got out of the
Okay.
Navy.
Okay.
Yeah.
Man, you know what I hate, and I'm gonna deviate for a second. What really bothers me is how when our parents are aging the way they do, and the huge swath of history that is within those minds and in that heart, the whole DNA soul thing, they got it so much history. I fear that once you probably know way more about the Hale, Arkansas clan than I could ever imagine because you've been there and my parents, I don't think my mom has ever been there and my dad I think went there in his adult years. I can't even tell you the last time he was there. And like you said, we still have family over there. There's still Hales. I keep in touch with some of them that are in Texas, but I really hate the fact that once Pops is gone, then all of that is gone as well. That just so much stuff he's probably forgotten more than I've ever known about that family. And it's so sad. And it seems like as we get
Yeah.
older, the generations go further, history seems to matter less and less and less. And the kids just don't seem to really connect on that level past us, our
Mhm.
our age, and it's a bummer. I'm not saying they're all that way, but it's
Yeah.
it's a shame.
So I'll give you two parts. The other night,
Yeah.
the end of our hallway, I still have my grandma and grandpa's Bible, and it comes in a little cedar box, and it has the obituaries and stuff. But in it also has the entire pages and pages and pages of family tree. And so we
Oh,
start breaking that thing out. We're going back to, which isn't that long ago, 1800s and
yeah.
different things. Um, and the reason that came up was because of a few years ago when we went back to Arkansas for a family reunion. We stopped by this lady's house, which is the same property which grandma and grandpa had, Gola and Velma,
Okay.
when they got married. And she walked us over this planter box and said, "Hey, I want you guys to take that stone." And so this was the stone that grandpa had carved his initials in, GSH,
Oh,
and it was the very first
okay.
step of the house that he built for grandma. And so we have that now.
That's
And I
awesome.
know my kids don't want it. Nobody's going to want it, right? And if we ever have to sell the farm, it's just going to be there in the driveway. So I said, no, it's my headstone.
Oh my
So
gosh.
already set up to be put in
Yeah.
my plot, and we already have our plots and everything with grandma, grandpa,
Oh,
mom, and dad, and everything. So I'm like, nobody's going to want this thing, and so
right. And
why
they
should
won't
it?
even know what it is. If the farm sells, they'll be like,
Right?
oh, that's neat. Step over it.
That's a great rock. Somebody's initials. Yeah. And so we just set it up right by mom and dad's front door, but off to the side so you don't step on it.
Yes.
Um, but that's what I'm going to be using as my headstone.
Oh, man.
Yeah.
See,
So
I'm
it just stays in
telling
the
you.
family. Yeah.
Exactly. Well, I look around
Yeah.
here and as you know, you've been here, it's just there's so much stuff around here. And the other day mom and dad and I were talking and everybody that is losing family members and there's this chaos that ensues sometimes because people don't have their ducks in a row and all their affairs in order and then it just horrible things happen. So every now and then, we'll talk about something or I was talking about a friend of mine who had experienced a really horrible scenario with an a stepmom situation where the kids were out of everything and she got it and it was just a horrible scenario. So anyway, I shared it with mom and
Yeah.
dad and we started talking about and dad goes, well, what do you want? And I go, what do you mean, what do I want? He goes, well, what would you want when we're gone? And I'm like, uh, you don't, you sit there and you're like, I don't like those questions.
Yeah.
I don't like those questions.
They
But
need to be had.
that's exactly what
Yeah.
I turned
You
right
gotta
around. I
have them.
go, you're absolutely right. It's something, I mean, they're in their 80s. It's like, if you don't have your affairs in order by now, I mean, every day is a gift from this day forward,
Mm-hmm.
literally. So maybe it's a conversation that people should have, and it's not a pleasant one. I remember, there's an example. My Grandma Ruth. One day we were in the house. I believe it was after Grandpa had passed away, and she goes, "Honey, I want to give you my china," and I go, "Oh, that's the first thing we all go. Oh, no, 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 we're not talking about that. Come on, you're Grandma. You're still
Mm-hmm.
with us. That's not happening. No, I want to give that to you." Well, God damn it, I should have took it, because I'll tell you the ugly story after, not on a recording, because it will probably affect some people.
Yeah.
But I should have took it all right then and there, because it didn't end up going that way,
Yeah.
and it's a bummer. So I had
Yeah.
to remind myself when he's asking me that. I'm like, oh, and then thinking, wait, if it ends up the same way that happened with my grandma, it's going to be awful. But
Yeah.
it's those conversations that you have to have, and it's just the whole thing about, you're just, life is a fleeting thing, and it's just so fast, and before you know it, you're like,
Yeah.
holy shit, I should have, shoulda, coulda, woulda. Well, it's a little late now.
Yeah.
But
We're even
anyway,
having a trust, even having
yes,
a trust set up now
yeah,
for our kids, because you drive
yep,
down the street and that's it. You just never
hmm,
know. So
absolutely.
I even have to work on some of that stuff myself. So
Right, right. I know.
you know,
Look at us. We're like
yeah,
double nickels, man.
yeah.
Hello. You're almost double nickels.
Hello, not yet, not yet. But I did state that this is my I Can't Drive 55 tour. So in August, I'm just gonna do it for August. Some people have like years for grants. No, I'm not that now. But I'm not gonna do a week, or I'm not gonna do a day. I'm doing a month,
Yeah.
and I got some stuff planned. So we'll see how it goes.
Oh, how exciting.
Yeah.
Well, we need to,
Well,
like I said, when we go to the coast, we're gonna go out one night, and we're gonna pre-celebrate our double nickel birthdays, okay?
all right. Okay,
Okay,
I'm in.
it's on.
I can do that.
Okay,
I can do
it's
that.
on. We'll
Okay,
we'll post
I
the
can do that.
pictures later.
You're right.
So now tell me, you graduated from Petaluma, right?
Yeah, Casa
Okay.
Grande High School, 1988, home of the Gauchos. All
Gauchos.
right.
What's a gaucho?
It's a Spanish cowboy.
That's it
Yeah,
is? Oh
like
my
our
God.
mascot was a Spaniard riding a horse,
Oh,
like a
cool.
must. Yeah, it's pretty cool. Yeah,
Okay, I can
the
see it in my
Gauchos.
head. Okay, I'll have to Google that.
Yeah,
What's a
flat brim, cowboy hat. Yeah,
yeah, like a sombrero almost thing, kind of.
but not as tall.
Yeah.
More cowboy, but flat brim. It's what
Okay.
everybody's wearing nowadays.
Oh
Yeah,
yeah. Well, everything comes back.
we're back.
Jesus. I just saw bell bottoms at D&B Supply, which is a Western store. I was like, high-waisted bell bottoms at the Western store. I
Yeah,
thought, okay, that's it. Everybody
right.
wants to be like
Thanks.
us, man.
That was Kendrick Lamar. Thanks, Kendrick.
Oh,
Appreciate that one.
I don't even know what he sings, but yeah. Anyway, yeah,
Oh
I
yeah,
don't.
no, it was the halftime show for the
Yeah,
whatever that
I avoid
football
that
game
at all
was.
costs. Right? Yeah, I avoid that at all costs. Okay, so
Yeah.
after high school, or I should say in high school, you
Yes.
probably were thinking, okay, this is what I want to do. This is what I want to be. So, what was your story? What did you have that proverbial? This
I,
is what I want to
I
do.
no, I didn't know. So up until that point, I didn't know if I was going to go to college or join the Marine Corps.
Mm,
And per my counselor, I should probably just join the Marine Corps because I wasn't going to be successful in college. That's where my grades were, right? My motivation, my drive. So I'm like, all right. Well, my mom's like, no, you're going to apply. And so she helped me apply everywhere. And Cal Poly San Luis Obispo picked me up. Natural resource management degree. So it wasn't impacted, kind of agricultural based. I'm like, that sounds great. Let's go down. And I tease them because I got to college. They drove me down, and you have like your room in your dorm. And they basically dropped me off on the sidewalk with a card for food. Like you could do it in the little thing and get your sandwich or whatever.
yep.
And they said goodbye. And then I tease them because I never left here.
Yeah.
I never came home.
Yeah.
Like, that was it. But
That was
the
probably the
hard
best
part
thing
is
they could have done, right?
it's 7 hours to get home. So I wasn't like just going to be able to drive back and forth. It was great. Had a great roommate my first year in the dorms. He was from a Rio Grande local area, so I instantly had a group of friends. But in that dorm life, I found ROTC because I really needed that discipline
Mhm.
in my life. I thrive on it. Like, I love it. And so got into ROTC, got into a bunch of the clubs, spent that whole year just doing ROTC stuff. Like, this is great. I'm going to come out of here a lieutenant and I'll do my thing and I'm on my way. And one of my first classes at Cal Poly was a Forestry 204 class that at the end of this class, it certified you as a wildland firefighter. It just happened to be that was part of the curriculum. I didn't sign up because I thought that was the thing. It just happened to be at the end of that class. A gentleman came in by the name of Kevin Chambers and said, "Hey, I've got this fire crew. It's a hand crew, and at the end of class, you're certified to be on it. But I'm taking the first 12 people that hike to the top of that mountain first, and that'll be on Wednesday." Okay, or this weekend. So I'm like, okay. So I show up to that. I'm already like a half a year into ROTC. I'm probably in the best shape of my life. So I was able to be one of those first folks up the mountain.
Awesome.
And got a job. Part of the job was because of my discipline with ROTC, obviously good grades and that kind of stuff. But I worked on that crew for the next 3 summers and had no idea how amazing. Like, we traveled the Western United States, 21 people in 2 vans.
Yeah.
Came up to Idaho, to Boise, at the interagency hotshot base.
Yeah. Okay.
And fire up at McCall, and
cool.
over in the other side too, where Diamond Lils used to be at before it burned down. But yeah, so did that for 3 years. But in between the summers when I was back in school, I was able to get picked up by Cal Poly Fire Department. So they have a fire department on campus, fire chief, 3 fire officers, but then the rest of the staff were student firefighters.
Oh, okay.
And that gave me the structure firefighting side of it, right? Because we're on college campus. So I've got one side of it during the summers.
Structure, as in, because there's 2 different ways to say structure. You mean structure, fighting fires,
home.
Structure. Yep. Okay.
Yes, like homes, buildings. Yes.
Yep.
Yeah, they're structure, but then there's structure fires.
Exactly.
Yes. So that was great. So now I'm getting both aspects. I'm getting the wildland side. I'm getting the structure side. Well, with the structure side also came, well, I had some medical stuff that I'll go back on the wildland side. So I was our crew. They call it a crew when I was doing the wildland firefighting. That was San Lucia Crew 3. I was the crew EMT because in that time I'd gone to EMT school. And so that means you get to carry this extra red bag full of Band-Aids and moleskin and like a blood pressure cuff, stethoscope, and, tweezers. Nothing, no meds, nothing crazy, no AED back then.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I did that. And then, so 3 years on the crew, 3 years at Cal Poly, kind of wrapped that up. And one of the guys who had been on the crew went to work for a local fire department, like a city municipal department. And he said, "Hey, I'm leaving if you want to come take the test. Okay, I'll put in a good word for you." So May of that year, I went over and took the test and physical agility and all that, and I got picked up.
Nice.
Well, I had no idea that was going to set me on a trajectory for the rest of my career.
Yeah.
So that was the last season I did the crew. Last season I did Cal Poly. Because the structure, how they facilitated us working is they gave us our own private bedroom at the fire station. It's where we lived 24/7. That's my house.
Wow.
My actual house is the firehouse. And we had certain shifts that we had to work. So I worked every Thursday night from 5 at night till 8 in the morning. Every fourth Friday, because there were 4 students, 5 at night till 8 in the morning. And then every other weekend, 48-hour shift, Saturday, Sunday.
Okay.
Because their whole mantra was they wanted us to be in school full time.
Gotcha.
So that's why they
great.
called it the student firefighter position. It was a ALS department, so every member of the crew was a paramedic, the full-time staff. And that's when I really got into, yeah, EMT is great, but you guys are pushing drugs, you're intubating,
Yeah.
you're doing all these amazing things. And I thought, that's the next step. That's the next level of where I want to be at. And my dad was a corpsman in the Navy. So the medical side of that, I grew up with people bringing their kids to the house, like, what's wrong with them? You know, and dad's like, oh, you're good.
Right.
So, you know, you see that. And even grandpa with animals. People always brought grandpa their animals to, you know, take care of. So it was just one of those next innate things that I knew that it just felt right.
Yeah.
So I applied to paramedic schools around, and I got into Stanford University and went through their whole program. And that includes all of your classroom portion.
Wow.
And then you go into clinical, which is, I think at the time was 140 hours in a hospital.
Wow.
And then I had to do another like 140 hours back in the field again. So I went to Petaluma Fire, because where I grew up.
Yeah.
And they're all ALS. So I was able to get with a preceptor and have him give me the 140 hours of the next level training.
So did you
To
have
my
to
cert.
do that over a long period of time, the 140 hours? I mean, like they gave you so much because you're still working and balancing all that?
Yeah, so I followed his shift. So every 48 hours, I was at that station when he
Oh,
worked.
okay.
Yeah, so 48 hours on, 96 off.
That's
So 2 days on, 4 days off, 2 days on, 4 days off. And quite frankly, that's enough in your head because it's a lot
no kidding.
just learning. But 6 months after I graduated from Stanford, I got picked up full time by the city of San Luis Obispo.
Nice.
And so, you know, I'd already done the city firefighting thing for about 5 years. I was a brand new paramedic, brand new, and got picked up in the city.
Wow.
And so 2 of my other buddies got picked up, and then 1 gentleman that we didn't know. So 4 of us in the same academy together. It was pretty amazing. So I remember calling my dad. I was 24 at the time, and my dad said he would always, his lines, I will support you till you're 25. I will support you till you're 25. I got you. Like, and he legitimately did. Like, when I wanted to go to Fire Academy, I was able to quit my job and just go to Fire Academy, and they helped me out.
That's awesome.
When I went to Stanford, I was already working, so you know I didn't need too much then. But I got hired July 19th of '94, 1 month before I turned 25.
Oh.
And he was like, he's all, you pushed it, huh? And I'm like, hell yeah, I did. Like, if you said 25. So
exactly. But
apparently,
you went down the road to an amazing career opportunity. It's not like you were just farting off, right, until you were barely 25. But you went down a road that you could be useful anywhere you went, man. Anywhere.
Yeah. No, having been given the opportunity to be a firefighter at 18, like when I look back at my career, I've got 32 years of total time before I retired. Jeez. And I was able to retire at age 50.
Yeah.
So
it's been almost
5 and I got out. Yeah, 2021.
Gee, Merry Christmas.
Yeah. Yeah, it was October because I wanted to have Halloween off. So I'm like, I never had Halloween off before.
Oh my God.
I want to be one of the people all dressed up.
Right, for once.
Yeah.
No, that is awesome. Yeah. So
yeah.
As your career progressed, I mean, how long did it take in that brand new environment? You're a brand new paramedic. It's like all this, even though you have some experience already as far as, you know, firefighting and all that, but you're in a whole new environment and you're a full-time dude. I mean, how was it to get your feet underneath you and then feel like everything was a knee-jerk reaction? How long did that take you to get acclimated to all that?
Yeah, those first days are scary as shit.
I bet.
You know, you're a brand new medic. you don't have another medic with you on the rig because your captain's not a medic, your engineer's not a medic, it's you. And back then we rode backwards because the way the fire engine was laid out, and we're also sitting outside because these cabs didn't have enclosures, right? So
Oh my gosh.
middle of December, it's raining, you're still outside. But all of our protocols, we call it our Bible, we just laminated into a small book. So, we'd get the information from dispatch, we're going to shortness of breath, whatever it is. Okay, that could be asthma, that could be, several different things. So I go to those protocols real quick, review them, and then get to the call. And if I need to pull it out, your book's there. But I remember the first couple of years, use what's the next call that's coming in. I think that's the worry is what's coming next.
Holy cow.
What's next, But once you get to the call and you're in it, it just seemed a little bit less stressful because, now I know what I got. Okay, this is what it is. And Stanford set you up for success.
That's awesome.
You weren't going to come out of there and not know what you needed to know. But there's a difference between book smart and street smart.
Sure.
And street smarts takes a minute because people will wrangle you around, fiddle with you, and I'm talking about patients that know how the system works, and they will just work you different angles or whatnot, and you're like, okay, you got me. Yeah. That took me a minute. Okay,
good for you.
All right, gotcha. But next time, remember the space. Yeah, but it took a while.
I bet, because that's a lot of responsibility, to step right into that, even though, as you're qualified, that you can do it. But like you said, it's that first stepping out of the what is, and then now you got the known, and then you can just hit the ground running. But let me ask you the questions I'm sure everybody loves to ask guys like you. What are some of your craziest stories that you could talk about? And then we want to talk about, like, there's crazy, chaotic, bad, and then there's the good. Mm-hmm. So let's start out with the crazy, chaotic, bad. Just to name a few.
With the good. All right. Crazy, chaotic, bad. Okay, so my first year as a firefighter working on the crew. Again, you got 21 people, usually all lined up, hand tools. We don't have fire engines and water. We just go out there and we start cutting the soil away from the fire or whatnot. Yeah. And on occasion, the fire's so far out there that they fly us in helicopters. All right, so we'll go to a little heli base, and we usually send a supervisor and like a parts squad with chainsaws to help clear the area where helicopter can land if it's not big enough. So we sent out the soup and a squad to open up the heli spot for us. And they got there, dropped them off, came back, picked us up, and en route to that, the Bell 212, 2 motors, one of the oil coolers in our ship went out. So the pilot says, hey, we need to go back to the base. And we're like, yeah, cool, but I mean, it's flat right there. You can just land. He's like, no, all the tools, all the stuff's back to the base. Right? Oh, okay. So he turns around, goes back to the base, and as we're getting closer, the other motor starts going to shit.
Oh, God.
So now he's trying to increase elevation, and then as he increases elevation and he sees the hell spot, everything shuts down. And we do this thing called auto rotation, and we basically crash onto the helipad. Skids broke off, glass canopies in on us, rotors are all out of whack, and as we're looking out the window, he tells us to get your crash position. I'm looking out the window, and everyone is running, like, away from us. And I'm like, and I was on the door. I'm like, all right, this is not good. Here we go. And so we get in our crash positions. Crash, and thank goodness it stayed upright, So come to a halt, and you're not supposed to get out till the rotors stop moving. Yeah. Well, now people are running towards us with fire extinguishers. So now I'm like, okay, well, I can't get out because rotors are still spinning. They can't come to us because rotors are still spinning. So once they stop, no fire, open up the door and start unloading. And I set up because I'm the EMT. right? So set up a triage area, do our triage, which means to sort
Yeah.
the worst, patients to the walking wounded, get everybody sorted out. Ambulance shows up, and we go through this whole thing on triage and the tags and everything. And he's like, "Wait a second, I had 8 firefighters and a pilot, 8 souls plus a pilot." And I'm like, "Yeah, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7." He's like, "Yeah, 7." And I'm like, "Oh, I'm 8." He's like, "You were on that ship?" And I'm like, "Yeah, I'm the crew EMT. Like, I took care of all this, right?" We had 1 broken back, 1 broken knee, 1 broken nose, and several, like, bunch of, like, cuts and bruises and stuff. But the hard part for that call was calling my dad.
Oh, I bet. Yeah. Yeah, I bet.
Calling my dad to tell him that, what had just happened. And he's working at Santa Fe, and when I called, his buddy picked up the phone. I'm like, "I need to talk to my dad." So he went and got dad. He's like, "Your son's on the phone," and he's stressed. And so dad comes over and talks to me. I'm like, "Hey, we're good, but we were just in a helicopter crash."
Jeez.
That was hard,
Oh, I bet.
But um, I think I was 19 at the time,
Oh my God. Just a baby.
But they gave us the next day off, and then we flew out the next day,
Good
but from a
Lord.
different base, because that base was under investigation because of everything that went down.
Oh my gosh.
So hard day, but
you had no scratches. You came out with nothing?
I had no injuries. I have no injuries. I'm 5'6", 160 or 70 at the time. I am a little ball at like nothing, and I'm with guys that are like the guys with the broken noses were all over 6'2", 6'3", because of the way you sit in the seat, facing forward with your head down between your legs and everything. All of them had nose injuries.
Somebody was watching over you.
It was gnarly.
Wow.
It's just one of those things that day. But good things came out of it, because I really learned a lesson on, obviously, triage, but also like my role in what emergency medicine is out here. And so it just upped my game on being a solid EMT, gave me that, hey man, I love doing this, So that was a good thing. Yeah, crazy. Other calls that are difficult. So I tell everybody, they ask me, "How long have you worked in the fire service?" I go, I had a career that lasted 32 years, and I worked 5 days. In my 32 years, I worked 5 days. And they're like, "How can that be?" And I'm like, "Well, those were all days where firefighters died."
Oh.
And so that's work.
Yeah.
That's work. The rest of the stuff of what we do, it's a career, it's a lifestyle, it's a thing that we love to do. Like, I guarantee we'd all do it for free if we could afford it.
Right.
I would say the majority of us would just do it for free if we just had all the other bells and whistles. They gave us the swag. They let us drive really bitchin' shit. We'd be like, let's go,
Yeah.
So, and there's always the calls that are really hard. I had the call was hard, but what happened after was even harder. So I had a call where a mother found her child in the morning, not breathing. And so we get to the house, and it's instant. You're met at the front door, and you're handed a child.
Yeah.
And thank goodness the ambulance pulled up with us, right? So we've got our gear. So we were just right back to the back of the ambulance, because that's the best place, the most sterile environment to do the best work, that you can. And unfortunately, it wasn't a successful outcome. We transported to the hospital. But years later, I was in like a rehab place for my knee. And happened to be that I was on light duty from work. So I was still in my uniform as I got to this office. And I set my ID down, and the lady looked at the ID, looked up at me, and just started bawling.
Oh, wow.
And I'm like, now the slides, what's the Rolodex is going like, what's connection? What's connection? It was the mom.
It was the mom.
So
wow.
it was So I'm like, come here. So she walked around and we just gave her a big hug and we just cried there for a minute and she pulled together. She's like, I know you did everything you could and I just wanted to say thank you, but seeing you, it just hit me. I go,
Wow.
I understand, completely understand, you know? So you never know when stuff like that's
Yeah.
going to come up and like affect you. Like even telling the story about the helicopter crash, I didn't know that I was going to crash. I've told
Well,
that story 100 times, right?
well, that
So you just never know.
that feeling though of wanting your dad to know that you're okay, that connection
Right.
and I don't
Yeah.
know, isn't that funny how we react? Even I mean, even if that happened to you today, who's the first
Yeah.
person you call? You've got, of course, you got your daughter, but it'd be your dad.
Yeah.
It's just
For sure.
that's a beautiful thing.
Yeah.
And just to backtrack, you are an only child, so
Yeah.
it is a major strong connection. And ironically, your dad raised you as a single dad for quite some time. And then you ended up
Yeah.
having one child and a single dad. And so
Yeah.
that brings me to when did you get married? And then all that. I want to know that because I
Yeah.
do want to cover the fact that you balanced a career and being a single dad very successfully, by the way.
Yeah. Well, thank you.
Hmm.
So got married in 2001. Had met my ex-wife Andrea down in Mexico. So I'm like, oh man, because anybody that can hang in Mexico, let's go. Um, uh, Married in 2001. No, met in 2001. Married in 2003. Um, had several miscarriages, and she had a son from a previous marriage, Trevor, and Trevor was my best man in my wedding.
Oh man.
Just great, great,
Yeah.
great kid. And he was 12 when we got married. And so all of the things that were like same with the way my life growing up was, it was kind of the same here. Um, and in 2005, we had a child who had a condition called holoprosencephaly. And so premature birth, but fully developed, but premature. But the holoprosencephaly is the child was born with no ears, no nose, no eyes, and a double cleft palate.
Oh my
So was not going to be able to manage um, his airway. We thought we'd just go full term and just we'll make everything work out for our family and everything. And 8 minutes after I cut the umbilical cord, he passed on.
Oh my
And so that was
God.
in '05. And then in '07, we had Kennedy. And so Kennedy comes out, and you're like,
Oh heck yeah.
okay, okay, we good, we good. So at that point, I went, okay, I'm done having kids.
Yeah.
Like I'm good. I just one
Oh,
and
I
done,
bet
and
that's trauma.
I can concentrate everything I've got on this one, and just feel very very blessed. And that was in 2007, and then in 2013, unfortunately, ended up getting divorced. Kennedy was 6, finishing up first grade, and so again, the coincidences are just too
Yeah.
uncanny, I guess. But so I found myself as a single dad of a daughter, which I've never raised a daughter. So what do? 6 years old, in school, first call, all the fire wives. I need you to bring your daughters over to my house and show me how to do hair. And all the wives showed up and they showed me how to do hair. Because I'm like, my kid's going to go to school well dressed, but her hair is going to be done and she's going to be put together every time.
Yeah, because
None of this,
you had 50-50, right? You guys essentially had
yeah,
50-50 custody. Yeah.
which which worked out really really well for me because so the firefighter schedule is I work 48 hours on, 2 days on, and then I'm off for 4 days.
Yeah.
So essentially, on our exchange days, it would be noon and noon. So I would be off for 48 hours or almost 96 hours with my daughter.
That's awesome.
I didn't have anything else going on except raising her.
Yeah. That's
So
beautiful.
I didn't have to do daycare. I didn't have to do anything like that. So I would almost venture to guess that our relationship is tighter because of it.
Oh, I bet. Yeah,
You
I mean, I
know,
can't
I would
imagine
say it's
the usual typical scenario would be, the 8 to 5 Monday through Friday. And then you could have a little time in the evenings and rush in the mornings to off to school, off to work. And then you might have,
yeah,
the weekends in between. It sounds to me like you definitely got the better end of the stick, even though your schedule may sound a little chaotic to some people because of, your firefighter
yeah,
schedule. But for your child, it sounds like it worked out beautifully.
yeah. It was really good. And the thing that I did too. So Andrea worked at the school where Kennedy went at the elementary level, and so that was great because she could be there with her mom. Um, so I decided to get a job there as a yard duty,
Oh, what?
and so now
Oh,
yard duty.
for outside during
Yeah,
the recess or whatever.
you just get to hang out and play with the kids all day.
That's
Yeah.
awesome. I don't
So
get to
that was
do
my.
that.
Oh yeah. Oh no, it was the best thing ever.
That
Yeah,
sounds
just come hang out, be yard
yeah.
duty.
Oh, right. And like,
Yeah,
that's my dad. Oh my
yeah,
God, that's my dad.
yeah,
No, that's great.
yeah,
So
yeah.
so
That
you've
was
been
fun.
you okay, and I want to know this because this has always been just fascinating
Mhm.
to me. I always knew you were a great dad. I mean, you come from great stock when as far as a great dad goes, so it's like duh. But
We we both do.
oh, I know
Yeah.
that's true. But yeah. Um balancing being a dad, being there for all of those important things as she's getting involved in more activities and growing and just getting busier all the time. Was there ever a time that your schedule, you had to flip flop things or you missed out on things? I mean, I'm sure you.
Well, yes.
Yeah,
Yeah. So with the firefighter schedule, you don't know what's coming next. You don't know what the next emergency is, right? So
yeah,
um, we have a thing called constant staffing at work. There are 14 firefighters on every single day, 24/7, 365. And if one of those units gets called out of the county, gets called out of the state, we have to replace those firefighters. So I've gone to work on one day and I didn't come home for 21 days
dang,
because that's the commitment, right?
yeah,
And so um, Andrea had knowledge of all that prior to, so we already have to have all those plans in place. Like it's summertime, we know stuff's going to go down, so are we prepared? So as firefighters, our houses are always dialed, ready to go. I already have my bills paid way in advance. I already have somebody to take care of my dog, to feed him and take him on walks and do all that stuff, and it's already all laid out.
yeah.
You know, because our block had 5 firefighters
Oh my gosh,
living on it, so we everybody's taken care of.
yeah, that's
So
so awesome.
now there's 2 of us now. Yeah. So you know, uh, Kenny and I have a funny saying. You know, it'll come around like June, and we might pop that first fire. You know, it might be a small one or whatnot, and I'll come back from that, and I'll be washing my clothes or whatnot and getting stuff ready. And she's like, "Well, see you in September."
Oh yeah, yeah,
This is June. This is
yeah,
June, right? Because fire wildland fires used to be June, July, and August,
yeah,
but not in California.
yeah.
June, July, August, September.
October,
June, July, September, October, November,
yeah.
and then we bust a Christmas fire. You like, you know, the the plan for the day has Santa Claus on it, and you're like, oh, we're gonna be here for a while, but yeah. So
Yeah,
yeah, that was our. That's the chaoticness of for the summer stuff. You just don't know when you're coming home, but with that chaos creates independence. Because you
true.
have to be independent in what you're doing because I'm not here to help you with this or that. I want to be, but based on my career and how I make money for our family, I can't always be.
Yeah,
But I guarantee you, and then you lay it back out. The dads that are 8 to 5, Monday through Friday, I have more waking hours with you than any other normal 8 to 5 parent.
exactly.
So
Yep.
I'm up in the morning, I make breakfast, I drive to school, I'm there at recess, I'm back at dinner time, bedtime, move like whatever it is,
Yeah.
for 96 hours. versus from 6 to 8 when they go to bed, 2 hours,
Right.
2 hours,
Exactly.
and then, the full weekend.
Yeah.
So it was good. I would change it because I would want to be married. I would want to have that, committed relationship where two people can figure it out and create a really strong bond to show the child this is what, it looks like.
Right.
But it did happen, and I never got remarried.
Yeah. Haven't
Still looking.
yet. Yeah.
Anyone out there?
Ladies, he's available.
So no, and Kenny's 18. She's
Yeah.
she's going to stick around for I think 2 years because of the Quest of Promise we have with the JC, and she's already taking classes. She's taking welding
I
at
love that.
the local junior college already.
I love that.
So she'll be around, for a couple more years, and we'll probably get into it a little bit later, but I'm trying to go back to work for the next 10 years,
Okay.
and that's to recover from my divorce financially.
Oh, damn it.
So, but it's okay. It's okay. But I mean, I want to work. I find myself super, super busy.
Oh,
I
yeah.
have still, I'm young. Like, let's go. I look at work, and again, because I had 32 years of a career, I still have that mindset about work.
Yeah.
I don't dread waking up in the morning, putting my clothes and going somewhere and making money. I don't dread it. I actually really look forward to, man, what are we going to do today?
Right. Right.
Tomorrow, April 1st, not April Fool's, I go back out to the nuclear power plant.
Oh, yeah.
And I'll
Tell
work,
me about that.
I'll work a 40-day stretch. It's temporary because it's when they shut the breaker off and they clean and maintain everything, put in the new rods, and just go
you're
in,
out there to
work 40
make sure
days and get
there's
out.
no fires. That's what you're doing, like as a firefighter?
No,
or-
no, actually, I'm what's called a crane walker. We have a huge crane inside the containment dome where the rods are, and they have to move big boxes of tools so people can work on stuff. So I help get this crane around this circle
Holy cow.
and not hit anybody or damage anything. And
Are you wearing a
it's
suit?
pretty gnarly.
A
Yep.
hazmat thing?
Yep.
Wow.
Got the little dosimeter, Yeah,
Wow.
but it's beyond safe. It's really, really,
Yeah.
really safe.
No, and it's
Yeah.
literally 40-day
Yeah.
stretch, as in you're out there for 40 days? Or you
So
go back and forth?
I can commute. Well, I commute from my house there.
Okay.
Takes about 40 minutes of a commute time, but it's so my day is 12 hours with it. Let's just say an hour on either side, so that's 14 hours, 6 days a week. We get one day off a week.
Wow.
Yeah, and that'll be done. That'll be 40 days.
And then that's just a temporary assignment. And then after they're done doing all
Yeah.
that's done. And then what do you want to do? What's your thoughts about?
So the plan for this year is we're doing a big solar job. I do solar on the side as an installer. And so we do ranch, commercial, residential. And so we have a big commercial building at an airport that we're putting on some godly amount, 400 panels on top of this roof.
Oh my gosh.
So we'll do that maybe last a month or so. But then there's another outage in October. So I'll go back and do this job again that I'm doing in October. So another 40 days.
Wow. So you're just kind of diversifying and
but the goal,
not committed to long term, right?
No. Mm-mm. The goal right now, though, is to, when I retired, I let all of my certifications go. I didn't want to be a paramedic anymore. I didn't want to be an EMT anymore. Like, been there, done that.
Yeah.
I'm good. Everything's done. I let my CPR card go. I'll be like, I'll call 911. Hey, there's somebody over here not breathing. Somebody needs to come do something about it.
Whatever.
And then I got out.
Can't do
I
that.
know, but then I got out to, I can't. I found out quickly. I got out to Diablo at my first outage, and I'm in the classroom, and somebody yells out, "What's that guy doing?" And I'm thinking, oh, it's going to be a hostage thing because he's got, a weapon or something like that. And I look over, and I'm like, oh, that guy's having a seizure. And I went back to doing my test, and I'm like, that guy's having a seizure. No one's getting up. So I got up, walked over, put him on the floor, opened his airway, turned him aside. And they had, they do their other protocol stuff about calling 911, making sure they have credentials to get into the nuclear power plant. And
Oh, yeah.
there's a lot of infrastructure stuff to get where we're at.
Yeah.
In the meantime, the guys needed his airway open so he could breathe. So I handled that, and everybody's like, something like I was a paramedic for a little bit. So
Yeah. Oh, I love
anyway,
that.
the the CEO of PG&E Diablo came down to the classroom in their suit, like the whitest helmet I've ever seen. Like, this is somebody, and they're all, "Excuse me, are you the retired firefighter?" Yeah. Thank you very much for your service. Really appreciate it. I'm like, sweet. I gotta pass this test, or I can't. Like, appreciate it. I'm still trying to get all my work done. So it's cool. But
That's nice though.
I knew every firefighter that came in. My old fire captain is the fire chief, and he's
Really?
like, Why are you not out here?" Like, I don't know. I don't know. So I'm now going back. I'm re-upping my EMT, which now you have to be nationally registered, and I'm just going to go through all the steps it takes to get back into that firefighter level of training. Then there's the physical fitness side. So
Oh, dear God. Okay, old man.
I
How's that going?
well, I I hired a personal trainer,
Good.
and I will show you the before and afters. Um, in 6 months, I'm going to be absolutely ripped.
Good.
Yeah,
That's
these
huge
guys
to have
they
somebody
don't
help
mess
you do
around.
that. Yeah. That motivation and
Oh,
that, come on, one more, one more, one more.
I couldn't do it without having them in my back pocket. It's actually a community of people. It's called Reliance Fitness.
Okay.
Does everything online. He's actually local and does have his own like personal gym, but it's not open to the public. He just goes in there, films content, puts it out, and then once in a while, the people who have been really, really successful with this program come down and show off what they got. And you're like,
Awesome.
that that guy's my age. That guy's older than me. And there's the before and afters, and I'm all, sign me up. But he does the whole nutrition
Awesome. That's it.
program
That's the
too,
key,
right?
man.
Whole nutrition program.
Okay.
So everything is built in the gym and shown off in the kitchen. That's what he says. It's
Yeah.
like, oh, it makes sense,
Yeah.
right? So
That's
that's what we're
great.
doing.
Okay. Well,
Yeah,
I
yeah,
can't wait
and
to see
it,
how that works for you because I mean,
yeah,
I'm glad that you stepped away from all that. You needed that break, and then you're kind of coming back around. I love it.
yeah. It's refreshing. I I absolutely needed the break.
Yeah.
Like, absolutely needed it. Yeah. So yeah, I'm hoping to be a firefighter at Diablo Canyon Power Plant by next year.
Awesome. And
Probably
that's a
middle of
full-time
next year.
gig?
Yeah.
It's a full-time gig for you?
Full-time job.
Wow.
Yeah.
So same gig
Full-time,
shifts and
paid.
stuff? Same.
Yes. Perfect.
Okay.
Perfect.
Okay.
Yes. 48.96s. So
Awesome.
now, let's say I get that.
Yeah.
Now I can, if Kennedy's got stuff going on, I can go up to mom and dad's for 4 days,
That's awesome.
because it's 7-hour drive.
Wow.
So
I guess I forgot that it was that far to
yeah,
the
it's a long
farm.
drive. Now I'm used to it. I've been
Right.
doing it since
Autopilot.
1988,
Yeah.
right? So
Autopilot.
the car drives itself, right? Yeah. So yeah.
Well,
So
so
I'm really looking forward to it.
well, no, I'm glad. I think it's
Yeah.
I think at this age, and I'm speaking for myself as well, it's like it's a new season. It's amazing being where you're at this age and knowing what you know now, having been through what you've been through. Your kids are grown and you just have this like renewed thing that just ignites and
Mhm.
I'm going through that myself right now. And I am so revived and feel like I've just entered a whole new phase of my life. And it's so crazy. It's like I'm a grandma, you know, I've got all this stuff going on, the podcast thing, so many things going on. And it's like it's crazy.
Yeah.
And you kind of seem like you're kind of in that mode as well. And you took a much needed break, but now you're like,
Yeah.
here I come. And you'll probably end up being in the best shape of your life. And you'll feel like, okay,
Yeah.
I'm 55, but I feel like 32. I mean, seriously,
Oh yeah.
it's awesome.
Yeah. When we finish up here, I'm actually going to the gym.
Okay. Good for
Yeah.
you.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Well,
Yeah.
so I
Yeah.
want to turn the page now. Tell me about this
Yeah.
the and I apologize, I can't remember the name of the not-for-profit that you're involved in with
Yeah.
the really awesome wheelchairs. So tell me
Mhm.
about where that came about and what those are.
Okay, so a good buddy of mine, Travis Checker, and I started a nonprofit called Positive Ride. And Positive Ride's goal is to take folks with mobility needs, um, places that they felt that they could never get before. So if you're, if you use a wheelchair, we always say people aren't in a wheelchair; they use a wheelchair as a tool,
Right.
right? You're not confined to a wheelchair. But if you're quadriplegic, paraplegic, have any type of mobility need, or use a wheelchair already, we want to keep you in the current wheelchair that you're using because it's built for you, right? Doctors have measured you out, got the really nice seat, everything's good. But we take your manual wheelchair and we put it on a device called Freedom Tracks. And the Freedom Tracks device is like a tank track system
Yeah.
that goes on the inside of the wheels, so the footprint is smaller than your wheelchair, which still allows you to go all of ADA bathrooms, in your van, restaurants, um, anything you want to do, but it's off-road capable. So all of your mountain Jeep trails, all of your most of your single track mountain bike trails. We use it a ton on our local beaches
Yeah.
um, here, grass and stuff. So about 5 years ago is when we started it, and it started off as what we called two dudes in a wheelchair, and we had no idea. Travis had found the device, somebody let him borrow one, and I said, "Well, let's load it up and let's go see what it'll do." So we took him to a local hiking trail. It's called the Pismo Preserve, and I said, "I don't know, let's just go up this one to the left. This looks great." And it was just a little bit over 36 inches wide, this trail, and we got him to the top of the mountain. And we're like, holy shit, like, how did we just get this thing to the top of the mountain? And I had videotaped him going up, and then we got back to the truck, and I'm like, let's just put this on Instagram. We'll make a little post on it and throw some music or whatever and stuff. And by the time we got home, we got an email from the Land Conservancy who owned the property asking us what we were doing with electric vehicles on the property.
No. What?
And we're
That's
like, well, we're two dudes in a wheelchair, and I just took this guy in a wheelchair to the top of your mountain. And they're like, well, we need you to have you come down to the office because we love it.
Oh, okay, okay. I thought it was
And we're
like
like, what do you mean you love it? Like, well, we're about to put in a $2.2 million ADA walkway hiking trail. And if your tracks just went to the top of our mountain, we're not going to put in that trail.
oh my gosh.
And we said, don't put in that trail. That's all done. So they bought us 3 of these devices. They said, the Land Conservancy owns them, but we're giving them to you to take people on our trails. We signed a contract with them. All of our insurance and stuff is through them. We didn't have to do anything
That's
except
awesome.
show up and take people hiking. So we coined the term adaptive hiking,
Yeah.
right? So we do adaptive hiking. We put a bunch of posts out. We go down to REI, and Travis cruises in. We're buying clothes or whatnot, and they're like, "What's up with this?" We go adaptive hiking. We got an adaptive hiking program. They're like, "Holy shit, we love you guys." 2 years ago, we got sponsored by REI.
Oh my
So
gosh.
yeah, so our local REI, they have a co-op grant program. So 2 years in a row, we received $10,000 each year from this grant. And this last year, what they've done is they've, like, if you buy something there and they ask, would you like to round up your change for charity or something like that, and you round up your 3 cents, that goes to us.
Wow.
So this last year, they've already raised like 17,000 for us for that.
Dude.
Yeah.
So
This last, go ahead.
no, I just keep going. I'm
Yeah.
just in awe. I
Yeah.
had no idea it
So
was getting that big.
this, this last 2 months, 3 months ago, they gave us an end cap. So like one of the bins that holds all the tents, it's like 9 foot tall, 12 foot long. Well, the ends of it are 2 foot wide, 9 foot tall, with nothing on them. So they say, if you guys want that end cap to just show what you do, pictures, and like give us a description of everything, you can have it. So we'll take it. So now we have an end cap in REI and QR codes that gets you to us, where you can see what we do. You can donate directly to us, and it just gives captions on how to get out there. So now with our website, you can just hit the book now button and book an adventure. We call it like an adventure with us.
Yeah.
Our moniker kind of thing we use is CARE. We create adaptive recreational experiences, and so that's what we do. Now, June and July is like ADA awareness months, because there's so many like sub factions of the ADA thing that they gave. We've got 2 months because we're not bitching. We're going to do a static display of the track with the chair on it and our program in REI.
Oh my gosh.
So now you'll absolutely get to see what adaptive hiking is about.
Yeah. That's awesome.
Yeah. So it's been crazy. Yeah, the city of Pismo Beach picked us up this year, and so the last Wednesday of every month we go down to the Pismo Pier. We set up our easy up, our table. We put out a track on top so people can see what it looks like, and then we have tracks and chairs all laid out, and they can either book with us, they can just come down and show up, or what happens most of the time down there is people are just cruising by to the beach just to check it out in a wheelchair, have no idea that we even exist, and we're like, do you want to cruise down the beach?
Yeah.
Well, yeah, how do I do that? Like, we just put you on this device, and we go, well, how much is it? It's free.
Wow.
No way. What's the catch?
Right.
We go after lots of grants, and we have a couple private donors. We're still waiting for our angel investor, but or Shark Tank.
Well, exactly.
But it's pretty amazing. Dan and Aaron Livingston from Colorado, they're the inventors of it, and then Travis and I take their thing and morph it into. We customize everything on it just because it's so badass.
Dude.
Yeah, we do some fun stuff. Yeah, we added a hitch so we could pull a wagon. So awesome. We make Travis carry all the beers. Yeah,
we gotta have a cooler.
No, it's fun stuff. So it's fun. And
like, what's the plan for you guys to? I mean, seriously, you said Shark Tank. Okay, there you go.
Yeah,
that could be millions of dollars investing. So
yeah, I don't know. So it's one of those things where be careful what you wish for. Because like it's starting to ramp up, and I'm one of the attendants that takes people out. It's a 3 or 4 hour excursion, but it's 78 miles round trip, 2 times to go get the tracks and back, and get the tracks and back, and get everything cleaned up and stuff. But so that just costs fuel money, right? And as far as like fuel money, all of the volunteers, we pay for it, right? We don't charge it to the nonprofit, because every dollar that we get in is currently now going towards a van. Because
that's awesome.
If we have everything in the van, and I can have the van like at my house or close by to where I can just take somebody down and back, it'd be a lot easier. But we run everything out of Travis's house in his garage, so it costs us nothing.
Yeah.
The only thing that truly costs us is fuel, running up and down the road, and then we pay for our website, generator and all that kind of stuff. But
wow,
everything else is we're simple. We don't. Yeah.
So,
but it's been amazing.
Is this just local to where you are? Are you guys looking to just like expand like crazy, or you're kind of on like, okay, do we want to go this big, or I mean, are you prepared to go that big? What's going on with that?
Oh yeah, we're definitely not prepared to go like nationwide, because like what some of our friends say, like, how do we duplicate you?
Exactly.
Like, I've got thousands of hours of hiking with this thing with Travis, and the things I see before he falls over, right, to catch him or to whatever. But it can be done, right? It's just having the hours. We could set up a whole training program, but we currently sponsor a surfer in South Africa, and he has a set of tracks, and he has ALS. No, multiple sclerosis.
Okay.
So he was here at the WSL World Surf League competition in Pismo, and we met him here, and just an amazing, amazing gentleman. And so we're like, you got to have one of these. So we got him all hooked up, took it back to South Africa. I just posted a thing of him the other day. He was cruising down the beach.
Oh my gosh.
But then he'll come back here for surf competitions, and we're like, don't bring your tracks. We'll bring tracks to you. And so whenever he comes out, he gets to ride the newest, the latest, the greatest. We let him pick out his color because we get them all powder coated, different colors and stuff like that. Yeah. So yeah, one thing that we did was crazy, and it's funny how things just kind of happen to pull together. But the Vietnam Memorial Wall, the portable one, was in town, and it rained 3 days, and it's in a grass field, and the grass field turned to mud, and they couldn't push people down in wheelchairs to see the wall. It's like 150 yards away, right? 1.5 football fields from where the parking lot was. It was a beautiful, beautiful thing, right?
Yeah.
All lit up at night, gorgeous, very solemn, like that. And you have all these vets sitting in wheelchairs looking at this thing, and my buddy Sean says, you need to get tracks down here right now. Yeah. I'm like, I'll be there. So I loaded up everything, brought it down, met with the staff who runs the program, and half said yes, half said no, liability wise. I'm like, we get it. I go, I want one of you to walk with me, and I'm going to go do the whole wall and come back. The guy's like, all right, how's it going to do in the mud? Great. It's like to the wall, and it only goes 3 miles an hour.
Okay.
Super slow, and it's quiet.
Yeah.
Just electric motor. Maybe a little squeak from a track down the whole wall, back up, and as we're getting to the vets looking at us, guy on the end goes, can I go?
Yeah.
Turned it around. He got up, sat in it, and I'm all taking him. I say no.
Wow. How and who's
are you going to have?
I mean, who do they think it's the decision of some committee to say, oh no,
Well,
liability? But it's like if the vet wants to go, it's up to him.
Yeah. So we're on private property.
Oh.
And we're working with a private government foundation. Like we're respectful.
Gotcha.
However, do you think I had any of those vets sign our waiver? No.
Oh man, that is so
awesome. Did not ask one of them to sign a waiver.
Yeah.
You've given enough. I don't need your signature. Thank you.
Oh man, that's beautiful.
Yeah. And it was you hear the stories down there. They're putting bottles of whiskey. They're putting medals on the wall. All of that, and then come back. And I heard some stories, and I'd come back, and there were a couple of us that were doing the circuit, and I get back, and I was telling Travis, I go, I need a minute. Travis is like, yeah, take it. I'm like, all right. Walk away for a minute, clear my head, come back. I'm like, all right, let's go next.
Yeah.
Like, holy shit. It was gnarly. And we did that for 2 days. And I think we got somewhere around 107 vets to the wall.
No way.
Yeah.
That's beautiful.
They wouldn't have gone. They would not have gotten to the wall.
Oh, thank God.
Yeah. They tried to do this like plywood, thing down to it. And people could, walk on the plywood. Oh yeah, but it was all just shit house mud and everything. We got great video. We got some great pictures.
Dang.
Of that. I'll send you a couple. Yeah.
Oh, please do. God.
Yeah, it was amazing.
Well, I'll tell you, that's the kind of that kind of thing would get me, and I would be like, I'm hooked. Helping people to that degree, and getting them in places they would never get if it wasn't for something like that.
Yeah.
That's beautiful. God, I'm telling you.
Yeah.
If you ever wanted to grow, I'll help.
Yeah. Well,
beautiful.
we just gave I gave a talk at a stroke center the other day. They asked us to come give a chat, and so we had about 50 folks that had suffered various levels of strokes.
Yeah.
And so they were kind of set up in a big horseshoe in this classroom. And we parked right in the middle of it, and Travis was there. We had another set of tracks just to kind of show and just kind of showcase what we did. And in the end, I go, who wants to ride? Let's go.
Oh, man.
And several of them got up and did a ride, and we had a little drag contest. It was fun. Yeah.
Well,
But
I love
who
it.
knew that who knew that we'd be guest speakers at a stroke center?
Exactly.
Never in my wildest dreams that I think that would be something that somebody would request that we come to.
Well, I'll tell you,
Not
when
at
it
all.
comes to getting people
Yeah.
in places they would normally not be able to go, because your quality of
Yeah.
life is diminished, and being able to get
Huh?
people out and live and get into the air, get down to the ocean, get up a hike on a mountainside or a hill. I mean, my God, just that
Yeah.
I don't know, that positive ride, man. That's
That positive,
crazy.
right? Yeah.
I love that.
We push independence. We push independence. We're going to show you how to use it. We're going to keep you safe. But after that, just go do your thing. I'll be right over here. We do have some folks who are full needs,
Yeah.
and mom has been pushing this child their entire life, and now to push this child down on the beach, it's hard.
Yeah.
You know, and you got lawn chairs, you got everything else, and
Yeah.
so uh, the controller has a 6 foot cord, and so I can just walk behind to let the family walk with their child, and then I pick a speed that the family's kind of walking at,
Yeah.
and we just go straight down the
That's
beach.
beautiful.
Mom's like, I've always pushed. I've always seen the back of her head. I've never seen it from the side.
Oh man.
You know? Yeah.
That's beautiful. I
Hear
love
stories like that. You're like, okay, that's why we do what we do.
absolutely.
You know?
Well,
Yeah.
I think you guys need to keep exploring that and keep moving forward. And hopefully you are, because there's a market for that, and obviously in every state, everywhere, in every country, for God's sakes,
Yeah.
that thing could be
Yeah.
massively huge and change people's lives. And that's, I and
Yeah.
that being said, that trip that you and I are taking our parents on, my mom can't get anywhere. She's just
Yeah.
not able to. And you had mentioned, that wasn't even on my brain until we started talking about the trip. And I'm like, God, I'm going to get mom down to the coast. And you're like, duh, I've got the
Got
wheelchair
you
that's
covered.
perfect for her. And I'm like, no, that's right. It's going to be
Yeah.
great. So she'll get down on the beach and be able to enjoy the ocean and put her, toes in the sand. And she hasn't been able to
Yeah.
do that. She hasn't been down there for years. And that's just something that she didn't really think she'd get to do. So that's going to be great.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. I'm
Yeah.
stoked,
It's
man.
on. Yeah.
Yeah. Anyway, well,
Yeah.
gosh, we covered a lot. Did we miss anything? It was great.
This one is here. You know, some of the stuff you talked about is like what's different in the fire service
Yes.
now.
Yes.
The older folks, younger folks coming in. So it's kind of interesting because I think the same thing is kind of happening a little bit with family. So I'm going to kind of like talk about the two populations and how they're like really, really close together and changes. Is back in the 30s, 40s, 50s, families created compounds, right? You had the
Yeah.
ranch, they had a lot of kids, and then they built a house for the oldest kid, and that's where that kid grew up, lived, and raised his family. And the next kid, and the next kid, right? So you got 3 or 4 houses on the same piece of property.
Yeah.
Then after World War II, everything happened, and all of the cities started developing, and sprawl occurred. And then everybody said, "Oh, well, you can have your own house because it's really cheap, but it's going to be over in the city over here, but you're close to all the resources." Oh, okay. Well, then the family unit went,
Yeah.
right? Small ranches went away. All stuff started going away. So with the fire service, what changed was when I first got on, we lived in a dorm. There were 8 of us in one room,
Wow.
and that's where you slept.
Yeah.
You had your little locker area where you changed and different things or whatnot, but when you actually went to bed and bedded down, you're in a huge room with 8 other people. Not 7 people, I was 8. So all of the camaraderie and stuff that went on at night, the yucking it up, like, I can't believe you effed up that call so bad. And guys just like, you did what? And like, you learn. Like, you're still learning right before you go to bed.
Mm.
And now, things occurred in the fire service where we all have individual bedrooms now.
Really?
Every single firehouse has its own, well, I would say most have their own individual bedroom now. So that was a huge change, and that changed overnight. Like, it went down and like, yep, we all have individual bedrooms now. We're like, what does that even mean?
Yeah.
Like, I don't know what that means. Like, yep, you can go have it over here, you're over here. So you have your own bed, you have your own TV, you have your own little AC unit, You have your little plug-in for your cell phone, because now cell phones are a thing.
Oh, yeah.
And you can, after 5 o'clock, if there's nothing else going on, you can go in there and isolate yourself from the rest of the world.
Oh, geez.
And that's what some of the younger generation has done.
Wow.
So my generation was like, we were always up and like, hey, let's go back out to the rig and polish this or check this, or hey, how did that thing work again? Let's keep going until dinner, and then dinner time, it was always everyone ate together.
Exactly.
And now with different eating habits or whatnot, not everybody's gonna have a steak with you. You make sure that you cover all the bases, for the folks that eat vegetable, and that's fine.
Right.
It just
different.
You just have to make sure that you cater to everyone, so there's inclusivity, but yet still foster that nurturing program of what the camaraderie side of it.
Right.
So
Right.
yeah, it's just a little different. Yeah.
I have no doubt. Do you miss that camaraderie?
Yes. So when I do the solar, all of us are retired firefighters.
Oh, no kidding.
And yeah. So the two gentlemen that own the company are still firefighters on the job, but the rest of us that are working for them are all retired firefighters. So when we go up on the roof, it's like having my old truck company, except we're not cutting shit up and smashing it. We're actually building stuff and making it look nice. Yeah.
That's great. Well, I was going to ask you about Mexico. Now, that's your kind of little home away from home, your little zen.
Yes.
So tell me about Mexico. Where did that come from, and what's going on down there?
Yeah. So in 1995, when I got picked up by the city, one of my captains, Jerry James, he'd been down there a bunch surfing, and I was surfing a lot at the time, and he had purchased a lot down in Todos Santos, which is about an hour north of Cabo on the Pacific Ocean side. And he's like, hey, I'll be down at the house. If you want to fly down, I'll pick you up at the airport, and then I can either take you back to the airport or you can drive back with me when I drive back. And I'm like, well, I got time off to drive back, so why don't I fly down early? We'll work on your place, and I'll drive back with you. He's like, all right. So 1995, it was probably September, October, fly down, get out to Jerry's place, and he has taken an Alaskan pop-up camper, and he's filled it with all of his cooking supplies and all of his tools and everything he needs to start cutting trees so he can clear the land enough to put a palapa. So he put up like this 30-foot round palapa was his goal.
Okay.
I'm like, all right, so we got all the brush cleared, all piled up, and then we drive his old Ford pickup back to town, which is 7 miles of a dirt road. And we get like 30 of these peeler core logs, put the tailgate down and stack them on top of the roof of his truck. No headache rack, just wood on the roof. He bound them up, and he's like, okay, but I don't know if they'll slide. Here, just hop in the back and hold them. Okay. So 7 miles, I'm holding these logs, driving down the road in Mexico. Not bumpy at all, right?
Oh, my God.
Dusty, just shit. But Jerry got us down there, and years of helping him with his place. Two of my good buddies, Matt and Jimmy, all firefighters, were like, why do we keep helping Jerry? Why don't we do something for ourselves? Let's do something. So Jerry was already, his infrastructure was in, he was set, and so we decided to buy a lot. And so we bought a lot, same branch that Jerry was on, and ended up building we took a trailer down initially, a little bit bigger than Jerry's Alaskan camper because there's 3 of us, but packed it full of the tools, followed Jerry's footsteps, and we'd go there with the big A-frame ladder and crawl to the top of it, crack a beer, and watch the sun go down, watch the sun rise, do that for, days on end, be like, okay, we want the house right here, facing this direction, and ended up building a 30 by 30 surf shack.
Nice.
It's all concrete block. It's bomb-proof, and we were all married at the time, and so it's 30 by 30, so 4 15 by 15 sections, right? If you split the square
Mhm.
again. So the entryway was barn doors to the entryway, which had nothing in it, to the kitchen, which had like a little kitchen island,
Mhm.
then a little living room and a bedroom. Well, we would move the island and we would pull the Suburban into the kitchen, and we would shut the barn doors and we'd leave. Like
Yeah,
it's set.
that's
So we
awesome.
never had a garage until the wives are like,
Yeah.
Suburban can't be in the kitchen anymore, boys. We need a garage. They're like, all right. So we
All
built a
right.
garage, surfboard, Suburban, and all that. So now we're at a point 20 years later, now that we've all retired, we're all building our individual casitas. So we'll all
Nice.
have our individual bedrooms, but then the one main big common area. So we're back to the family compound.
Yeah, I love
We
it.
built it.
I got to get
Yeah, we
down
built
there.
it.
I'm
So
threatening to get down there
yeah,
one of these
anytime,
days. Okay.
anytime.
You come
Yeah,
up
yep, yep.
to
Just
Wild Horse, we'll come down to Mexico.
okay. So in August, I might be doing a flash trip to Utah.
Oh, well, you're not that
So
far.
I think that's somewhat, and I have no idea where I'm going yet. I just talked to the guys actually last night, and it's part of the I Can't Drive 55 tour. Let's just say my friend has a float plane,
Oh,
and I'm all, oh, we got to go do some float plane shit.
yeah, you do. Holy cow. I've always
Yeah,
wanted to do that too.
yeah,
That's more like Alaska, but
yeah,
where are you going to do a float plane in Utah?
yeah. I guess
Where?
so. I don't know, some lake.
That sounds fun.
Yeah, I
I
don't
wonder
know.
if it's like towards Mead, down by Arizona. I don't know, man. I don't know. I love Utah though.
I don't
It's
know.
so beautiful. It's
Yeah,
so beautiful. That's exciting. Okay, yeah.
yeah.
If you're
So
close by, just a little
okay,
detour. Yeah,
yeah, we'll
because
figure it out.
we're only. I
Yeah,
think we're about 4.5 hours from Salt Lake. It's not that far.
okay.
Yeah, just a
Figure it
detour.
out. I don't know where I'm going yet, but
Okay,
anytime you want to come down to Mexico,
okay. It's
let me
on.
know.
It's
Actually,
on.
I'm I'm going to be down there right after our trip.
Oh. Okay, okay.
Yeah, so it goes our trip, Father's Day,
Yep,
right, weekend,
yep.
and then I'm going after that for 2 weeks.
Oh, dude. Okay. Okay.
Yeah,
Okay. Right.
so like I've built my place, but it doesn't have any like infrastructure in it yet. It's
Gotcha.
block walls.
Yeah.
The windows are in. The door's going in on the front door is going in on the 8th. It has a toilet that flushes.
That's
It has running
fantastic.
water to the shower that's just cold right now, and the sink works because of like elevated water.
Oh, gotcha.
But I don't have any solar down there yet. I don't have any propane to heat the water, but
Gotcha.
it'll be June. It'll be
Oh,
fine.
yeah. You'll probably get quite a bit done this year. That's exciting.
Working on it.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
Add to your plate. Well,
Working. Well, we call it poco y poco, little by little.
oh, okay. Gotcha. Yeah.
Yeah.
We got to learn the native speak when I'm down there. See.
Right. Yeah.
Hola.
Como estás, y'all?
Yeah. All right, cousin. So
Una más
tell me,
cerveza, por favor. Yeah.
this is going to be my thing, my shtick with my
Mm-hmm.
guests, and I want to ask everybody at closing if you could go back in time and talk to that cute little Shannon, little guy.
He was cute
He
too.
was so cute. I know. He was so
He was
cute.
cute.
So tiny.
He was cute.
I know. I got to post that picture of us on the motorcycle.
Yeah.
But if you could go back and talk to that cute little man, what would you tell him if you could?
Yeah. Three things. Just remember life. It's always family, family, family. You get one. Go at it with your family. Too often we get caught up on what the Joneses are doing, that kind of bullshit, right?
Yeah.
Don't try to keep up with them, but establish 2, maybe 3 lifelong friends. And that's the ones where you say, bring a shovel, don't ask me questions. We're taking my car. But they will be right there with the family part, right? They will blend in so well that people probably won't even know that they'll think you're related, right? And then open up a Roth IRA at 18
Oh my gosh.
and dump as fucking much money as you can in that thing, and it doesn't matter. If you drink Starbucks, put $5 in that thing. I don't care what you put in it. I don't care. Compound. We do not teach our children compounding interest enough. Enough.
Nope. I hear you. I learned what not to do from my family, and I agree with you 1,000% on that.
Yeah.
It's yep.
Yeah.
And my kids are better
I
with money than me by far. But then I
yeah.
ever had that chance. I'm better now, obviously grown up, but I agree with you. It's beautiful.
Yeah. Yeah. Rothar.
Yeah.
They're like,
So
as soon as it doesn't take much. Just keep.
well, no, exactly. Because look, I mean, the years go by anyway. You might as well just, you know, just imagine if this gal would have done something right by herself decades ago. Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Well, I pull up the graph on the computer, and I make Kennedy and her boyfriend look at it.
Good.
You know what I mean? Like when she wanted to get a tattoo, I'm all, hey, how much was your tattoo? No, it was $230. I'm like, hold on a second. 230, one-time investment, 30 years. Boom. That tattoo right there cost you $15,700.
Wow.
You just spent $15,700. And if you look at it that way, I bet people wouldn't spend that.
Oh, they go,
She's in, right?
ouch at every turn. That
That's
hurts.
that's just what you spent, right?
Yeah.
So
That's a good way to do that. Holy shit. Well, I love
yeah,
that. I love that. I love it.
yeah.
All right, cousin. This has been such a
Okay.
wonderful honor. I just love you so much.
I love it.
I can't wait.
Yeah.
Cannot wait to spend some time with you in June. It's going to be great.
Look forward to it.
Oh yeah.
I can't wait to get your mom out on the beach.
Oh my God.
Like bring Kleenex. Bring your Kleenex.
Yeah. Yeah. It'll be epic. Anyway, I love you.
Yeah.
I'm not.
It'll be fun.
Okay.
All right. Love you too.